Words and pictures.
Doing, ribbit. Doing, ribbit. Hello. I was just getting these frogs into the pond. I've called this yellow frog Fred and the green frog Frida. Which one do you think will get in first? Doing. Yay, they both did. There, Frida and Fred in the pond with their froggy friends. Frock. Frills. What else can you see that starts with the same sound? Frogs are amphibians. Amphibians can live in water and on land. Amphibians usually begin life in the water. These are frogs' eggs. They're called frog spawn. There's lots of frog spawn here, sticking together. After 10 days, the eggs hatch into tadpoles with long tails. Lots of tadpoles hatch because only a few will survive. Some are eaten by other creatures. The tadpoles start to grow back legs, then front legs, and their tails get shorter, until finally they turn into frogs. Young frogs are called froglets. There are many types of frog in different parts of the world. This frog has webbed feet with suckers. It can jump from one tree to another and cling on. It also uses its feet like parachutes to glide through the air. There. Lots of animals like to eat frogs, so to protect themselves, some frogs are camouflaged. They blend into their surroundings, so they are quite hard to see. Some frogs are poisonous. Their bright colours and markings are a warning to other animals that they shouldn't try to eat them. And this is the most poisonous frog of all. It's called a kakoi. It lives in South America, and just a tiny smear of its poison could kill someone. Frogs can be very noisy. They have special sacs of skin which get bigger to make the noise even louder. Some types of frog can be heard a long, long way away. Ribbit, 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 ribbit. There, another noisy frog joining its froggy friends. In this country, you might see some frogs in the summer, but in winter, you don't often find them. That's because they hibernate. They burrow down into the mud, and this keeps them safe and warm, unlike the frog in today's story. And the story's called Frog in Winter. When Frog got up one morning, he realized at once that something was wrong with the world. Something had changed. He went to the window and was astonished to see that everything was completely white. He rushed outside in confusion. There was snow everywhere. It was slippery under his feet. Suddenly, he felt himself falling over backwards, down the bank, into the river. But the river was frozen, and Frog lay on his back on the cold, hard ice. If there's no water, I won't be able to wash, he thought, shocked. Shivering with cold, he sat on the bank. Then Duck came hurrying towards him on her skates. "Hello, Frog," she said. "Nice weather today. Are you coming skating?" "No, I'm freezing," replied Frog. "But skating is good for you," said Duck. "I'll teach you." So Duck gave Frog her skates and her scarf. She pushed him and he slid quickly across the ice. But not for long. Soon he fell. "Aren't you enjoying yourself?" said Duck. But Frog was nearly frozen solid, and his teeth were chattering. "You've got a warm feathery coat, but I'm just a bare frog," he said. "You're right," said Duck. "You'd better keep my scarf, as I must be on my way." Then Pig appeared with a basket of firewood on his back. "Aren't you freezing, Pig?" asked Frog. "Freezing?" said Pig. "No, I'm enjoying the fresh, healthy air. Winter is the most beautiful season." "You have a nice layer of fat to keep you warm. But what do I have?" "Poor Frog," thought Pig. "I wish I could help him." 1, 2, 1, 2. Hare ran up. He was jogging in the snow. "Hurrah!" he called joyously. "Sport makes you healthy. Hurrah for sport! 3 cheers for sport!" "Why don't you join in, Frog? It's great fun keeping fit." "I'm freezing," said Frog. "You've got warm fur, but I have nothing." Sadly, he went home. The next day, his friends invited him to have a snowball fight, but Frog couldn't share in the fun. "I'm freezing," he murmured. "I'm only a bare frog." And miserably, he stumbled home. He sat next to the fire for the rest of the day, dreaming of spring and summer. He burned every last piece of wood. When the fire went out, he went outside to gather more logs. But he couldn't find any wood in the snow. He walked and walked until he lost his way. Everything was white. Exhausted, he lay down in the snow, a bare frog. And there, his friends found him. "I'm freezing," whispered Frog. "Come on," said Hare, and carefully they carried him home and put him to bed. Hare collected wood and lit a fire. Pig cooked a nourishing soup, and Duck cheered Frog up. In the evenings, everyone listened while Hare read wonderful stories about spring and summer. Meanwhile, Pig knitted Frog a warm pullover in 2 colours. Frog enjoyed the attention from his friends. Winter is wonderful when you can spend it in bed. Then the day came when Frog was well enough to get up. Without fur, fat, or feathers, but dressed in his new pullover, he took his first steps in the snow. "Well?" asked Hare curiously. "It's Good, answered Frog bravely. So the long winter passed. But one morning, when Frog opened his eyes, he noticed at once that something was different. Bright light streamed in the window. Quickly, he jumped out of bed and ran outside. The world was bright green, and the sun shone in the sky. Hooray! He cried. It's good to be a frog. How wonderful. I can feel the sun's rays on my bare back. His friends were happy to see Frog so cheerful. What would we do without Frog? Laughed Hare. I can't think, said Pig. No, agreed Duck. Life just wouldn't be the same without him. Pig, Duck and Hare were good friends, weren't they? Helping to look after Frog when he needed it most. There's Frog in the spring, hopping about, nice and happy. A lot happier than he was in the winter, when he was a freezing frog. Frog. Frost. Freezing frog. Friendly frog. Frock. Frog in a frock. Friendly frogs. Friendly frogs. Both these words start with the same letters. Watch how Magic Pencil writes them. Round and all the way down, then across. Top to bottom, up and around. Round and all the way down, then across. Top to bottom, up and around. Round and all the way down, then across. Top to bottom, up and around. Four little speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, catching the most delicious bugs. Yum, yum! Two jumped into the pool, where it was nice and cool. Then there were two green speckled frogs, glub, glub. Two little speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, catching the most delicious bugs. Yum, yum! Two jumped into the pool, where it was nice and cool. Then there were no green speckled frogs, glub, glub. No frogs on the log, but four frogs in the pool, looking cool. But not freezing, I hope. See you next time. Bye.